Hi guys, this is Dormouse03. This is a guide for getting all the medals in Resident Evil Revelations 2, Episode 2, and earning yourself the achievement or trophy. There's a medal for that. So I'm going to start off with Claire's episode. You don't have to do all of these medals in one run, but I think in this case you can get all of these done in one go if you want to or need to. But it's certainly not necessary. You can do them in multiple runs if you have to. And so the medals for Claire's episode are: knock down an enemy 5 times by blinding them with the light, then hitting them with a physical attack, cleared the siege in the bar without any of the windows being broken, stun 10 enemies with Moira's light, defeat 8 enemies with sub-weapons, defeat 3 enemies using the stealth attack, defeat 8 enemies with headshots, create 3 sub-weapons by combining items, open 3 military boxes, find 6 hidden items with Moira, and escape the village without taking damage from Mutant Pedro. And so pretty much all of these can be done before you get out of the first area, really. All except for the stealth attacks, I believe, can be done in that first area, which is pretty awesome. Again, you don't have to do them all there, but you definitely can. So I'm going to take you through kind of a logical progression of getting these things. So when you start off in the town section, there's going to be plenty of houses to explore and shinies to find with Moira, and so it should be pretty easy to find those 6 hidden items with Moira and go ahead and knock that medal out of the way. There's also going to be a bunch of stuff to pick up: empty bottles, odorous chemicals, gunpowder, all sorts of things like that. And so you just want to make sure that you pick up some of that stuff, enough to be able to make 3 sub-weapons by combining items. And so that's 3 exploding bottles, a combination of exploding bottles and the decoy bottles, tourniquets, etc. So you just want to make sure to pick up enough stuff to create 3 of those. Should be very easy because there's stuff everywhere. Now, in this house that you saw me go into right here, there is your first military box that you can open with Moira. The medal is to open 3 of these, and there are at least 6 of them in this level, and I'm going to be showing you where all the ones that I found are, and we'll get you this one taken care of. This is the first one. And again, it's in this house to the left as you exit the bar, in the same room where you find the battery. The second military crate that you can find in this area is over past the doors that you can open with Pedro with the drill a little bit later on, but it's over to the very, I would say, leftmost edge of the map. If you're if the bar is on your right and the helicopter area is, in front of you, it's sort of the left side. And that is your second military crate. Your third military crate is going to be around behind the helicopter. So as you approach the helicopter, you just want to go around behind it, and it's going to be right there, waiting for you. There's a fourth military crate. As you are exiting the helicopter area, there's a path to the left and a building over here, and there's a fourth crate that you can open. Again, you only need 3 for the medal, but I'm going to show you where all of them are on this level, just in case you happen to miss 1 or 2. So this is the fourth. Okay, so now we're going to talk about knocking down an enemy and following up with a physical attack. You have to do that 5 times, and this is just a demonstration. There are a ton of enemies on this level that you can do this on. You just want to shine the light as Moira, and then you want to go and switch to Claire and follow up with a physical attack. So you just want to make sure that you do that 5 times. You can also work on stunning 10 enemies with the light as Moira, and defeating 8 enemies with sub-weapons, and defeating 8 enemies with headshots. all in this area. So after you give Gabe the parts for the helicopter, there will be a bunch of enemies that you have to defend Pedro with. There's also going to be a bunch of enemies after the siege on the bar, and so there's plenty to do all of those medals on this level. You just want to make sure that you do whichever things that you need to do on the enemies here. Okay, so let's talk about what I think is probably the toughest medal on Claire's section is defeating all of the enemies in the siege on the bar without any of them breaking the windows. So I used the submachine gun, the machine pistol, just because it fires pretty rapidly, it will knock them away quickly, and it doesn't take too long to reload. You can use a shotgun here, it will knock them back, but it doesn't quite have the range that the machine pistol does, and the reload on it is pretty long. So I chose the machine pistol here. I think that's the best choice for this particular section. Make sure that you have a lot of bullets. If you're playing this on the easiest difficulty, you should be able to pick up plenty in the area before getting to this sequence. And you just want to be checking every window meticulously, be looking around all the time to make sure that you are shooting them out of the windows as quickly as possible. When you get to the section where Pedro gets grabbed at the door, you are not done. You still need to be on guard. There's going to be some more enemies, and just take care of them as best you can. It's a little bit of a cluster here, so use your shotgun if you have to. I swapped to it a little bit there just to get some enemies to back away. But that is what I would do. Basically, using the machine pistol for the most part. I use the shotgun a little bit, but those are the weapons that I would say are the best. And if you need to reload the checkpoint there, if anybody gets into the building where you are before Pedro transforms, then you have failed the medal and you need to just reload the checkpoint. So that is that one done, folks. And then the next medal is to escape the town without taking damage from Mutant Pedro. I wanted to keep him alive. You can kill him and get that medal. I did that on my first playthrough, actually. But you can also just run away from him, and that's what I'm showing you here. You just need to kind of dodge around, use the tables as cover if you need to. Once the enemies bust through the door, then you want to head out and get some distance from him. And it's just a waiting game. You want to just wait until Fisher puts the ladder down and then run toward it. So in this area as well, if you need any more kills with sub-weapons, if you need any more headshot kills, if you need any more shine the flashlight to stun enemies with Moira, any of those things you can pick up here as well, because there are just a ton of enemies. And if you do kill Pedro here, then you have all the time in the world to farm any of those medals that you need. I wanted to leave Pedro alive here because you want that to be set up for your run as Barry, because there's a medal tied to killing him in a particular way as Barry. And if you kill him here as Claire, then he won't be in Barry's episode. So you want to try to leave him alive for that purpose, but on a separate run you can also kill him and farm other medals on these enemies here. And you also get an achievement for killing him as Claire. So once Fisher puts down the ladder, you just want to run over to him, and that is your medal for not getting damaged by Pedro. Alright, so as you can see in this building that's up the ladder after you separate from Fisher, there is yet another military box that you can open as Moira. So, again, you don't really need to worry about these. There are a ton of them. Here is another. I also wanted to show you this area because if you haven't gotten all your kills with sub-weapons, this is a really good place to do it, because there's going to be some enemies that come into the room downstairs, and you can throw some of those decoy bottles. They'll kind of get trapped in the odor there, and it will explode and kill them. And so this is another just little good spot to do that if you haven't gotten those kills already. Obviously you can do any of the other medals too, like shine the light, headshots, etc. Okay, so our last medal for Claire is to defeat 3 enemies with stealth attacks, and after you leave that room right there, you're going to be in the spot to do those 3 stealth attacks. So you just want to make sure that you crouch, make sure Moira's flashlight is turned off, and then I'm going to show you the path that worked for me to get all 3 of these enemies to cooperate. So the first thing you want to do is hide behind this car. There's going to be an iron head that's going to walk past it, and he's going to be the first one that you stealth kill. Now, depending on just the AI's pathing and where they are in their path when you walk through, it can possibly take him a long time to walk past the car, as it did for me right here. But you just want to wait, and eventually he will move his slow behind past the car where you can stealth kill him. Alright, and so that is the easy part. The next 2 are a little bit trickier to get. There's going to be one of the guys that has the facial growth on top of his head up to the top of the level here. And so I came over to the left and sort of hid back here, kind of in the shadows, hopefully far enough away from him that he won't see you. And you just have to be patient here. You just have to wait and wait and wait, and he will walk forward, again, depending on where he is on his path. Once you kill the first Ironhead guy, will determine how long you have to wait here. And so if you hang back far enough, he won't be able to see you, and then you can slowly move up on him. The only thing you want to be careful of in this area is you don't want to alert the dog pig thing. And so you want to make sure that you start moving fairly quickly once he turns around, so that you can get him before he hits the spot where you're going to alert that pig dog creature. So that is your second one, and then you want to come back around, and we're going to get this third Ironhead, or it's the second Ironhead, the third enemy with a stealth attack. And so the problem here is, again, this pig dog creature that is in the middle of the road right in front of us. And so you just want to make sure that the Ironhead is far enough away so that when you walk up to that thing and kill it, the Ironhead will not see you. And so I was hanging out here for a second because I wasn't 100% certain about what I was going to do here. I thought there might be a way to go around the pig dog creature, but I don't think there is. I think what you have to do is what I'm going to show you right now. Just wait for the Ironhead to come back, start his walk back away from you, and then once he gets a little distance away, move forward, alert the pig dog, and quickly knife it. I didn't even go out of my crouch. I just knifed it really fast so that the Ironhead does not see you, and then you can move up, hide behind the car near the Ironhead, and wait for him to come back down so that you can get your third stealth kill. So here we go. We're going to walk up to Piggy and knife him, and then move up to the cars that are on the left here, and then just wait for Mr. Ironhead to come back down and allow you to see his back and stick a knife into it. And that should be your 3 stealth kills, and that should be the last medals that you need on this level. So that is all she wrote for Claire's medals, and we can move on to Barry's episode. Just one final thing before I finish off with Claire's episode, just in case you need another military crate or are interested in where another one is. In the building after that sneaking sequence, you will be able to find one more in the downstairs. It's like a meat slaughterhouse looking place, but you can find that military box, and that's another one that you can potentially open if you need it. Alright, so now we are going to move on to the medals on Barry's episode 2, and those medals are: defeat 5 Revenant by only hitting their weak spots, defeat Mutant Pedro by destroying all of his eyes, hit enemies with Natalia's brick 15 times, defeat 2 enemies with a follow-up attack, defeat 8 enemies with sub-weapons, defeat 6 enemies using the stealth attack, defeat 6 enemies with the knife, open 3 gimmick boxes, find 6 items with Natalia, defeat 5 Revenant using stealth attacks in the city warehouse. And so these, I think, are a little bit harder than the medals on Claire's episode, but they are definitely doable, and I'm going to take you through a logical progression of them, at least for me. I think that you'll probably need to play this level a couple of times, whereas you could have gotten them all, I think, on one playthrough with Claire. It's going to take you a couple of times probably with Barry, just because of the different types of kills that you're going to need to do. Okay, so the first medal that I'm going to show you is killing 5 Revenants by only hitting them in the weak spot. You just want to find that weak spot with Natalia and then shoot them only in that particular limb with Barry. It's the exact same thing that you did for that medal on episode 1, and there are plenty of Revenant to do this on. Here is a second example, and so this should not be too difficult for you, seeing as you already know how to do it from episode 1. Next, I'm going to show you where a few of the gimmick boxes are. You need to open 3 of them as Natalia. The first is in this house down the ladder where you go to get the key to open the gate. There is also going to be a gimmick box in this same room. And so you just open it up, and that is 1 down. In that same area, before you leave to go back down to the gate to open it, on the right here is a second gimmick box. And so you just want to open that up, and that is number 2. Once you get into the village area, there's going to be a house that you can crawl into as Natalia, and there is going to be a third gimmick box in that house. This is also a really good area to work on finding 6 hidden items with Natalia. There's going to be a lot of shinies, particularly in the bar area. Once you get in there, there will be several that you can find in that spot as well. Before we get there, though, I wanted to show you the beginning of hitting 15 enemies with a brick and defeating 6 with a knife. So these glasps, you can throw a brick at them as Natalia, that stuns them a little bit, and then you can finish them up with the knife with Barry. There are 3 of them in this town area. 2 of them you'll encounter sort of back to back on your way to the bar, and then the third is on your way out of the area. Again, you throw the brick at them, that sort of knocks them, and then you want to quickly move toward them with Barry. They can insta-kill you, and so that may take a couple of tries just to get the timing right and whatnot. Sometimes they can be sort of irritating. But that will be 2 knife kills down. Then I'm just showing you some shinies in the bar that you can pick up to work on your 6 for that medal. And then outside the bar to the left, up the stairs, and around back is going to be another gimmick box that you can open. There are a ton of these gimmick boxes on this level. I'm going to show you where all the ones that I found are, but again, you only need 3 for the medal. Right, so on your way out of town, there will be the third glass, so you can throw a brick at it. That's your third brick, and your third knife kill with Barry. You're going to get the rest of your knife kills with Barry in the sewer area down here. There's going to be 3 of these pig dog things, and you can just knife them and take care of the rest of that medal. And so that's your 6 knife kills down, and we've done a little work on hitting with bricks with Natalia. The next area, there are these 2 Revenants. I'm going to get 1 stealth kill on this first one, and then the second one I used as hitting one of them only in the weak spot. And so, because you can't really sneak up on this one that's laying on the ground, he will wake up. So I used him as a weak spot kill for that particular medal. And we have 1 stealth kill on the Revenants now. You can get stealth kills on the ones near the beginning. Also, you want to make sure that you have enough, or I wanted to make sure I had enough for each one of these things. And so you sort of have to divide them up. But you can do this in multiple playthroughs. And that will make doing each one of these individually a little bit easier if you need to. So that will be a weak spot kill for us right here. And then when we go down into the building, we're going to work on a kind of tough one, which is to defeat 5 enemies in this warehouse area with stealth attacks. And so there's 1 right here and 1 in a level upstairs, and you just want to make sure that the one upstairs is as far toward you as he can be, and then turns and starts walking away from you, and that is the point where you want to get the enemy that's in this room downstairs. You want to wait till the guy upstairs turns away from you, and then you want to wait until this guy downstairs also turns away from you, and then you can quickly run forward and kill him. And then you want to move up quickly to these stairs and kind of hide in the door frame here. That guy upstairs can see you. Sometimes it seems it's impossible how he sees you, but he can. So I use the door frame as cover, and then you just want to wait for him to move as far up as he does. He will not come into the doorway, so you don't have to worry about him seeing you sitting right here. And when he turns around, you can go in for your second stealth kill in this area. The third Revenant in the warehouse area is around here, and again you just switch to Natalia to make sure that you can see him, and when he turns around you can move up and get behind the piece of cover that's closest to him, then wait for him to do his little path one more time and move behind him as Barry and take him out for stealth kill in the warehouse number 3. And after you do that, I switch to my sniper rifle. Open this door, but sort of back up because you don't want to trigger those enemies yet. And I zoomed in on this guy right here because you don't want him tossing stuff at you, and that's just annoying. So I take him out with a sniper shot and then move forward to trigger these other 2 Revenant to wake up and move around. Or I guess they were already awake and moving around. But you start them on their path. And then you want to hide over to the left here, and it's going to feel very nerve-wracking because the one is coming around to the right and is about to see you. The one on the left, you don't want to go around the corner just yet because you want to wait for him to turn around. But as soon as he turns around on the left, you want to move quickly around that corner so that the one on the right does not see you. And then you can swap to Barry once he's around the corner be careful about that. And stab that guy for your 4th Revenant kill, and then you just want to wait for this guy on the right to make his little circuit. I think he's just going to walk a circle around the crates, and so you just want to put yourself into a good position to kill him, and that is your 5th Revenant stealth kill in the warehouse area, and that is one of the more difficult medals on this level done. When you're switching back and forth between Natalia and Barry, you just want to make sure that those characters, whichever one you're switching to, is not in a position where they can get seen by the Revenants. So that is your only real danger here if you follow the path that I showed you just then, and that should be that medal taken care of. Those 5 stealth kills also count for the other medal of getting 6 stealth kills in this entire level, and so if you combine those 5 with the one that we got before this warehouse area, then that will be the 6th that you need for that medal as well. So that sort of kills 2 birds with 1 stone and gets that taken care of. There is also another gimmick box just before you exit this area, so you can pick that up as Natalia, and that's another gimmick box. You probably don't need it at this point because you only needed 3, but the stuff that you get in them is well worth it, so go ahead and pick that up if you haven't. Once you get into the next section, there are some more of these glasps that you can toss bricks at for some more brick hits, and you can also knife them for some more knife kills if you need those. With Barry, there's also going to be another gimmick box up here in this room that I will show you. And so go ahead and pick that up if you need it for the medal. If you don't need it for the medal, it still probably has some useful stuff. As you keep moving forward into the next building, there's a door over here that you could have pried the bars off of as Moira, and if you did, you can come around and find yourself another gimmick box. And so there is the next one on this level. I think this is the last one on this level. There are a ton of these. So pick that up and move along. There are more glasps throughout this building that you can get knife kills on and brick hits with if you need them. And when you get to the end of the level, you are going to fight Mutant Pedro. This is a reason why we wanted to keep him alive in Claire's episode before you do Barry's. And the way that you do this is to look at him with Natalia. You'll see which one of the eyes is weak, and then you want to shoot that one with Barry. And then after you shoot the one that's weak, it'll explode, and a different eye will become the weak one. You'll have to switch back to Natalia to see which one that is. And so basically you're just switching back and forth between Barry and Natalia to see which eye is weak, then shoot it, then see which one is the next one that becomes weak, then shoot it, and so forth until all of them are destroyed. And so that's not too bad. You just want to make sure that you're concentrating only on shooting him in the weak spots and try not to shoot him too much in areas that are not weak, or else he will die, especially if you're doing this on the easy difficulty, which I would suggest for these medals. But if you are doing it on the easy difficulty, it's possible to kill him before you've shot out all of these eyeballs if you don't sort of meticulously try to only shoot those spots. So just be a little bit cautious. And if he dies before you've shot them all, or if he dies and you aren't sure if you got them all, then you can always reload the checkpoint. It's right before the room with him. And that is that medal accomplished. You can also hit him a bunch of times with the brick with Natalia if you need some more brick hits. There are plenty of enemies that you can hit with the brick on this level, but if you need some more, he is a good target, and there are several bricks in this room. So just in case you need some more of those, you can farm them here if you need to. So that is defeating Mutant Pedro by only hitting him in the eyes, or by destroying all of the eyes. And now I'm just going to show you my run where I got some of the sub-weapon kills. And so I got 3 of them in this area with the pig dog creatures in the subway tunnels. Subway tunnels? Sewer tunnels. And it took me 2 bottles. You could probably herd them up and do them in 1 bottle, but it took 2 of them for me. But that's okay. So that was 3 of your 8. And then I got these 2 that are right outside the warehouse. I made sure that they were sort of close together and got them both with 1 fire bottle, which is great. So that's 5. Then inside the building, I rounded up the 1 Revenant from upstairs and the Revenant downstairs and sort of circled around the shelf until they both seemed to be kind of in the same area, and then got them both with a fire bottle. And then the last one I got was one of these Glasps downstairs in the medical looking area. Got him with an exploding bottle. Also got an achievement for killing 20 Glasps, which was cool. So that was the 8 kills with sub-weapons. My last medal was to kill 2 enemies with follow-up attacks. And now this is irritating just because you have to do such a specific thing. I got mine in this area where there's the 1 Revenant that's throwing stuff at you and 2 that are down with you. And they have to both have their weak spot on their head in order to pull this off. So I look with Natalia, I see that this one right here has a weak spot on his head. I shoot the Revenant upstairs to get his attention. I shoot the head to reveal the weak spot. And then I just kind of wait, let him throw something at me so that it knocks the Revenant down, and then hit him with a follow-up attack in his weak spot. The second one down here, it will not always have a weak spot on his head, but if you reload the checkpoint enough, you'll get this set up. So, again, you shoot him in the head to reveal the weak spot, sort of run around, let the Revenant upstairs knock him down, and then follow-up attack with a stab to the face, and that is that medal done. That medal is really irritating. I'm not exactly sure why they decided that you could only do a follow-up attack when this stupid guy had knocked them down, and not like when Natalia knocks them down with a brick, or when you knock them down with some shots. No, it has to be that 1 Revenant throwing stuff at them that knocks them over that allows you to do that. Not sure why they made that choice, but that is probably the most annoying one. You can do 1 or both of them in the area before that section, where there is another one of those Revenants that's throwing stuff at you, and there's the other 2 Revenants that are trying to grab you and stuff. I just found that area to be more annoying, and so it was slightly less annoying for me to try to reload the checkpoint until there were 2 of them in that one particular area that had both of their weak spots were on the head. That was just my choice. You can do 1 of them in the earlier section, and then 1 of them in that section where I did mine. But the checkpoint on the earlier section is back at the very beginning of the warehouse, and so it was just a little bit more frustrating to me. So I did it where I did it, and I'm just letting you know that you can do it at the earlier section as well, or you can do 1 of them at the earlier section and then 1 of them at the later section to kind of split it up and make it a little bit more likely that you might get 1 out of the 2 with a weak spot on his head. So there you go. Those are all of the medals for episode 2 done, and you will get your achievement or trophy. There's a medal for that. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that it was helpful for you, and I will see you with some more videos for the upcoming episodes.